What's Apple.com? Internet charge.
I think that's your Roblox thingy.
What? Looking and taking a look at how we do our expense meeting. It's not a long meeting. Our monthly overview is longer. That's like 45 minutes to an hour. But the weeklies are just a cadence of 15, 20 minutes. What happened with both companies? What were the expenses last week? How are we looking on things? And the reason I do this is, and I do preach this, that people lose themselves in the P&L because they don't pay attention to their expenses. They review it quarterly or they'll glance at it, and the reality is there's nothing more important than the P&L. For us, what we've been super diligent on for several years is every week we meet line item by line item by line item by line item. Now what that's done is, at first it was cumbersome, and at first it was much longer meetings, but as we've cleaned up automated credit card bills that were unnecessary, gone, right? Subscriptions, licensings, one-offs, everything has gotten so cleaned up that this exercise that our controller Holly does every week has gotten so much easier to do, because one, she's used to it now, and two, a lot of things have now gotten so clean. When you can look at a clean report every week and there's a couple nuances, you can go back and find those nuances and say why, because there's not 30 of them, there's a couple of them. You know, it's nice to have somebody like Holly that, one, cares enough, but two, she pays attention. I mean, every week she's doing this, like this is hand stuff. So she's personally going through every line item, just ensuring, yep, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. This is what that was for. We've cleaned up hundreds of thousands of dollars on our balance sheet just because we're paying such close attention to what we spend money on. What you're gonna see is just a quick glimpse of our weekly expense meeting. It's not exciting, but it's just, again, every week, 20, 30 minutes. What's going on with both companies? What do we have coming in? What's pending going out? Approvals on what can be paid, what shouldn't be paid, and then you go into all the expenses. And we do this every single week to make sure that we're staying on top of things. And I think bi-weekly is too big of a gap. I really do. If you do it weekly, everything is very concise. People start understanding what their rhythm is, what they need to be looking for, what stands out. And we've done this for years, but every single week we meet just to look at both companies, where our money's going, and what's applicable and what should not be applicable. So they don't use for their 401?
No.
Do you know why?
I don't know why.
I want to ask Brenda about that.
Okay.
I don't see any expenses.
It is on. These are their expenses.
But that's it?
Yeah, that's all they have.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they were light on expenses.
Ask Brenda, when you see her today, ask her about that 401k.
Okay.
And I don't know. Why?
We have two.
Well, I just saw that Las Vegas and Houston pending expense for 60 grand. And so.
Where you see that?
At top right.
We just got that email. They emailed Michaela, and we just got those 2 invoices.
Oh, that ain't happening.
Okay.
That ain't happening. They got a lot more business to send us before we give them a buck.
Perfect.
Do you have the list of the state tax stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Is that in here?
No, but I can get it for you. The leftover ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that for you.
All right. Bring that with you next week too.
Okay.
So we can just keep a good check on that. What's your total for every month?
Our next 2 months are free. It should be like around $8,000 right now.
And what's
I believe that's at about $4,000.
okay? How do you think we did in May?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, expenses were down, and it was our highest month. So it's going to be a pretty good month.
Good. Well, June should be pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And July.
Okay, cool.
Your distribution came out.
Yeah. The P&L stuff she's gonna get with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I'm working with her on that today. Payroll came out too.
Yeah, you'll have a good week this week though.
Yep.
So the Rev firm is paid at the end of the month, but they
Yes.
bill us on the 1st?
Yes, but I don't pay it. It's not due till the 31st.
Okay.
So I pay it at the end.
I've just never heard of it. It's $1,500.
Never heard of it. Find out what that is.
Okay.
And get back to Ken. So,
Another thing too, and you can work with me on this, When we switch to the accrual system,
Yeah.
we do a cash right now. When we switch to accrual, I have to put every single bill in as a bill.
Yeah.
So I will need full help from the tech team. Anytime you're paying something, it has to go through me.
So I owe back Apple.com bill. What's Apple.com? Internet charge.
I think that's your Roblox thingy,
What?
like for your son. His bucks or whatever that he has. Whatever that game is.
Google, YouTube TV. So this dinner is company,
Yeah, I figured, okay.
but I owe the rest back, which is a couple $100,
Okay.
whatever it is. This is the smaller payroll coming up, right?
Correct. Yep.
It's
on the
smaller
10.
by quite a bit, isn't it?
Mhm.
What is the typical total of the 25th payroll? What does it usually equate to?
Yeah, total.
Total.
Yes, with 1099 and W-2s.
And this one's more like what?
On my end, it's about on 1099s.
No, the total payroll.
I'd have to ask Brenda to double check, but
Can you do me that takeaway? Give me that takeaway too.
Yeah.
What are the approximate totals of the
Each.
10th and the
Yeah.
25th payroll?
Yep.
For split them out.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I got.
I would recommend weekly. If you can't do a weekly, I would do bi-weekly for sure. That's when most of your invoices are going to be due, is twice a month. So I would recommend looking over all of your expenses and double checking everything at least twice a month. I think one thing that it's a lot of work, but one thing that we do that I don't think other companies do is I actually go through by hand and mark every single expense so that we have transparency and Jason knows and I know what every single thing that comes out of our bank account and credit card is.
This is where, in my opinion, this is where companies lose because like that exercise has become so redundant that Holly knows exactly what to do. It's due every week. And so it's just like programmed that this is how the expense meeting goes. And the reason behind it is this is where you get out of control. I guarantee you over the past year, we were doing bi-weeklies, kind of having just overviews. And then I just started noticing like these little dollar amounts. And it's kind of like practicing what you preach, because what I always tell people is it's not the big static charges that will get to you. It's the 6s, the 7s, the 400s, the 900s that are just sporadic and you don't have a handle on it. And so every week we meet just to make sure like everything's in line. And over the past year, so much has gotten in line. When I look at this, it's just clean. Like there's very few surprises, and if there are, we can identify those because there's so few of them. Where before it was like you got to check on 20 different things. You got to watch it like a hawk, and that's what Holly does very well, is making sure every dollar is accounted for. It's necessary, and that's why you can run a clean P&L. But we're on top of our expenses. Every week we meet on expenses to look at everything being spent, not once a month, every week, because you just got to catch things. You just don't know sometimes. I mean, there's nothing more important than the accounts, you know? So not paying attention to your P&Ls and the accounts receivables, as well as your debt. It's so important that you just have to do it every week, because you get a much better handle on the company too.
Absolutely.
You just know what's going on. So, and now things get more expensive as you grow, right? Like personnel, other things that we need. Typical static charges will go up because you have more users or whatever. But what you're not seeing all these question marks. You know, before we'd see question mark, what is this? What is this? What is this? We don't get that anymore. And it's because we're super diligent about doing this stuff.